D.C. Marsha Blackburn sits on the committee and joins us live. Welcome back, Senator.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about those who think that this is not legit. Senator Dianne Feinstein, top Democrat there on the committee, says, I can't support this kind of dragnet authority to conduct politically motivated investigations. How do you respond?
I think that one of the things for her to remember is that when you have the amount of wrongdoing that was done through the Russia collusion hoax and what President Donald Trump has lived with every day, you need to get to the bottom of this. We have had the Horowitz report. We know a certain amount of things that have been done. DOJ has reversed what the charges on Michael Flynn. And Shannon, what taxpayers want to know is who cooked up this plot, who decided that it should be carried out, who did the dirty work, how did it end up in an Oval Office meeting on January 5th. So there are 39 people that were involved in this plot. There are 14 that were involved in the unmasking, and in order to get to the bottom of this, and bear in mind, this was a taxpayer paid for conspiracy. It was the Department of Justice and the FBI, the premier law enforcement agency. Of course, people want to know, how did this happen? How did they get those FISA warrants? And how was it they knew that dossier was not legit, but yet you had them use it for the FISA warrants? And I will tell you this, the hearing we did last week with Rod Rosenstein, that left more questions unanswered than answered. And it raised some questions that people want to know. How could you have possibly been running the DOJ and could not have known? You had your questions about what Andy McCabe was telling you, but you never said, hey, are you telling me the whole truth on this? Are you hiding anything? You know, Rod Rosenstein thought, hey, he's not really forthcoming. Something's not right.
Yeah, so we know that we're told potentially that there are going to be more declassified documents coming from the ODNI office. That could be very soon. We're waiting the Durham report, as the Attorney General Barr says he's been disturbed by some of the things he's learned in the course of that, but doesn't know the details as Durham is heading that up. But you mentioned Michael Flynn, so I want to ask, because the DOJ has recommended the case against him be dismissed. The judge in the case said, not so fast, let me get some outside help with this. He asked a retired judge to weigh in, and he filed his brief today. Former Judge Gleason said this: the facts surrounding the filing of the government's motion constitute clear evidence of gross prosecutorial abuse. They reveal an unconvincing effort to disguise as legitimate a decision to dismiss that is based solely on the fact that Flynn is a political ally of President Trump. Not surprising, given what we know about Judge Gleason and some of his previous writings, that he says DOJ, this case should not be dismissed against General Flynn. This is a political situation meant to help a President Trump ally. He recommends against it. So what do you think happens next?
We know that Judge Gleason had this opinion. He had an op-ed that he had written, as you said. So basically what he has now done is to provide this ruling based on what his previous opinion, stated opinion was. Now, Judge Sullivan knows that a federal prosecutor can place those criminal charges, he can dismiss those criminal charges. And Judge Sullivan actually has been involved in some of this before with the Ted Stevens case. He was the judge there. And DOJ later realized there was wrongdoing. There were activist prosecutors that were involved in this, and they dropped those charges. And after his death, Senator Stevens was exonerated. So I think many people have been surprised at Judge Sullivan's step in bringing in Mr. Gleason on this, especially when there was an op-ed and his opinion was known.
Yeah, and there is a hearing involving this case on Friday, so we will watch that very closely and update our viewers as well. Senator Blackburn, always good to have you with us, and we'll watch for the votes out of the Senate Judiciary Committee tomorrow too on the subpoenas.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you.